didn't smack me at all. It didn't hurt at all. It wasn't my
We
funny
smack
bone.
each other around still to this day.
It happens. That's the great thing about history. So I have to ask you, you have such a long career. I love so many different, I mean, obviously I love some projects you've been in more than others. Thanks. but it's really, there's so much to cover. I just want to start with this experience. What is it like for you to come to these events, and when did you first realize that there was such a passionate community out there who appreciated projects you've been a part of?
Okay, there's two kind of questions in there. The first part of what do I feel about this? I'm gonna get emotional. You're gonna make me cry. You guys all make me want to cry every time I hear someone come up and talk about how the show or my character Faith changed their life, saved their life, helped them figure out who they are. It really gets me, like, it's right in there. It's really special. I don't know a lot of shows that kind of have had that effect on people, and I'm obviously, as you know, grateful to have been a part of it, and always still kind of amazed at how big the effect is, but I really love it, and I'm really grateful. So thank you guys. Totally. Give yourselves a hand.
Absolutely.
How awesome you are. And then the other question is, like, when did I realize that the fan base was out there? I think after, like, my first couple episodes of Buffy aired, and no joke, like, some people would, like, pop out of bushes and go, like, who do you think you are? Like, Faith coming to Sunnydale, like, trying to mess with, steal Buffy's friends. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So, affectionately, that was when
it is, you hope as an artist that at one point in your career you're a part of something like really profound and something that is meaningful on a level more than just an artistic level, you know, something that connects and is genuine. And I think that, you know, Buffy and moreover Faith, your character, has had that effect. So it's pretty amazing.
And I appreciate that, you know, I grew up a tomboy. I grew up, you know, my parents were divorced. I was in Boston. I didn't like dresses. I kind of thought or hoped I was a boy till I was about 9 years old. And a lot of what I saw on TV were very girl next door, very girly girl type. So it was confusing at times to not, you know, have a character or something to look up to that felt more like me. And so then when I hear that from people, that's really special.
Yeah, well, let's actually take it way back to the beginning of your career and being a tomboy a little bit. I love the story of how you sort of got cast in This Boy's Life. And I'm wondering if you could share that with all of us.
This Boy's Life was the first movie or this one?
Well, the first movie story, but yeah.
I tripped and fell at my brother's audition when I was like 9, and this agent said, like, I think I could get your other kid, the weird little girl or boy, you know, some jobs, so keep your phone on and I'll call you. And I only kind of wanted to do it because my big brother did it. So then my first audition, my mom forgot to come home for it, and my older brother came home and I said, are you here to take me to my audition? And he was like, no. But I asked him to take me, happened to be at the same casting office down the street, and I went in and all the girls were in dresses and had their hair done, and I had like dreadlocks, and I had just come from the schoolyard and like dirt all over my face, and I said, forget it, I'm not doing it. My brother's like, you dragged me all the way down here, you're going in and doing something. So it was very random, but hey, it worked.
Yeah. And you've kind of had that through line of playing these a little bit off the beaten path, not necessarily feminine roles, although roles that are very relatable throughout your career. So what do you look for when you go to tackle a character or role? Are there specific like things that you like to make sure the opportunity will afford you as an artist?
Well, as you well know, as an actress, there are certain roles that you just sort of fit into, more like, you know, I can prepare for an audition for a different type of role, and it doesn't come off as believable. So I think I've had luck. I haven't had the experience of going like, I've got all these roles to choose from, and I want this one, and I'm gonna, you know, like you kind of, I bring what I bring, and I've been really fortunate and really lucky to be, you know, cast in some of these roles, and I think they're a lot of the time ones that kind of, you know, that work with me and that I bring something to. So I don't know. I mean, people will say like, oh, do you ever get worried about being typecast as a strong woman? And I'm like, I can think of worse things to be typecast as.
Like, that's okay. I'm totally fine with being
I'll bring that, like, every day. So, I've been really lucky.
Yeah, well, not lucky. I mean, I think that, you know, your talent has taken you where you are, so, right?
I had a good mama. I had a good feminist, strong mama, and, you know, she definitely gave me a lot of my...
And being the youngest of four helps build character.
And also, you know, kind of back to the Buffy themes, like, I love kind of being able to play characters, whether it's, you know, gender or sex or you know, or sexual preference. I think it's a world where people kind of, I mean, obviously people want to see characters represented that are like them, and so I feel like we've been able to, with Buffy and roles that both of us have done, kind of like break some of those cookie cutter things and make people feel represented.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. And now I love that at this point in your career or in your life, you're not only appearing in front of the camera, but you're taking a more producery and role. Sorry, there's like a gnat flying right in my face. Role. And I want to talk about the Black Company, the project that you guys have optioned, and so let's.
Is anybody here familiar with Glenn Cook and the Chronicles of the Black Company? Yeah, it's super cool. It's a book series. There are over 10 novels. The author, Glenn Cook, he was a Vietnam vet, and he wrote these, it's sort of a, let's see, like military fiction meets dark fantasy. It's sort of, you know, it has the scope and the feel of sort of a Game of Thrones meets Lord of the Rings meets SEAL Team 6, but it's told from the world of these like mercenary soldiers, and some of them are really bad, but they fight, you know, they have a code of honor in their group, and the story's kind of told from the bottom up as opposed to Game of Thrones, which is told a little bit from the top down, and it's just awesome. And there's an amazing role of the lady that I have had my eye on, and we tried to option the book series about 5 years ago, and we lost it to a bigger name, and thank God they didn't do it. Actually, it was Tim Miller, and he was too busy with Deadpool, which was good for us. Yeah, it ended up coming back to us, and now we've optioned it and sold it to a big, you know, company, and we're developing it and finding a writer. So it's exciting.
That's amazing. And how did you identify the series, or was that your partner's?
My brother's husband actually had read it from when he was a little boy. I mean, he was
really?
Way before he should have been reading something so kind of graphic and insane, but he loved it, and he mentioned it to us, and he's read the whole series. He's on his fourth or fifth time reading it through, and
oh my God.
He's you know, working on it with us and just helping us kind of get through it to get it right. A lot of people that have heard about us doing the Black Company have said, like, don't mess it up.
No pressure.
Nothing you want to hear. But he's so in the world and really understands, you know, the themes and what we have to do. So we're lucky to have him working on it with us.
That's awesome. I'm very excited about that. Let's take some questions. If you guys want to line up, I believe there's 2 mics. And while they get themselves sorted, everybody here is obviously passionate about stuff you've been a part of. What do you geek out about? What are you passionate about?
I mean, so many things. I love people. I love, you know, I recently went back to college because when I started on Buffy, I was enrolled to go to college in Boston, and I made a tape for Buffy. It was supposed to be 3 episodes. It turned into 5. I moved out to LA.
Turned into this.
Yeah, but I always wanted to go to school, so I nerd out about school. I mean, I'm not like a front row student, but I'm like second or third row. It's just like right there, like super great. I had a 4.0 until I got a bad grade in math last semester. Not my strong point suit. But I'm excited about school, and then I was a sociology major, and then I just switched to holistic psychology specialization. I love people, and some of you know we have our organization in northern Uganda, which is a trauma healing Thrive Lulu. Thanks. My mom taught African politics, you know, for 47 years, and we went over and she identified this region, and you know, people there needed help, and I think a lot of the themes kind of blend together, you know, like even when I look at Buffy and I look at what Buffy's meant to people, it's like if you've been stripped of your identity, life's a prison march. And yes, there are great organizations that provide water or malaria nets, but like I'm just so interested in what makes people like want to live or feel, you know, understood, heard, happy, fulfilled. That's a pretty fundamental human need and right in my eyes. So we've worked at Thrive, and I geek out about seeing people, you know, feel that way and feel heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, it is a very interesting through line through your work and your projects and even your family. Yeah. All right, we'll start over here. Hi.
Oh, hi. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Eliza. Hi, Claire.
You're on.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming here to Washington, D.C. for the Awesome Con, for always being so active in fandom, and for just making yourself so accessible to your fans. It's honestly really appreciated.
Thank you, and thank you for being here, because if you weren't here, it would be weird if I was here.
Yeah, that's true, I know.
So, I'm glad we're all here.
Yeah. Also, you're like one of like the nicest and kindest celebrities out there that I've met. I mean, you're the only one that I've met, honestly. I'm kind of biased.
You guys can clap for Eliza. She is nice.
Me, I'm a badass.
So, well, my question would mainly pertain to the logistics of acting. So, when you're acting in between episodes and you're given the script and you have to memorize all of your lines, do you get any rehearsal time at all, or are you just supposed to go on filming day and then just like be ready to go, like follow all of the director's directions, and then just know what to do straight from there?
It depends, and you know, it depends. I mean, when I first started out in film, you had much more time. You know, you have, I mean, a movie. I actually shot part of True Lies here in DC. Yeah, back in the day. And that was like a 9-month shoot. It was $100+ million budget, and we would be trying to basically shoot a couple pages a day and just these huge, you know, everything. So you get a lot of time on a set like that. And then you have an independent movie where you have 20 days to shoot the same length of a movie, and so you're, you know, maybe doing 1 or 2 takes. Then you have TV. It's a faster pace. You know, you're getting the scripts a couple days before. You know, in Dollhouse, for example, I loved it, and I asked for every bit of it. I told, you know, I had lunch with Joss, and I said, I want to like do a TV show where, like, I don't have to wear the same wardrobe every week, and like, I just, you know, I want to be this but not that, but this but not that, and he gave me everything I asked for. He's like, cool, you'll be a different character every week, or multiple characters every week, and that was awesome. But at times I wished I had had more time to prepare for the specific roles or characters. So yeah, I mean, I pride myself on preparing as much as I can. I've had an acting coach I've worked with for 27 years since day one. He was the first person to put me on tape when I was 9 years old. And, you know, I work with him, and I try to show up as prepared as possible. But the most important thing to me is always, you have to be able to take direction. So I bring my choices and what I think the character should be, but I immediately say, you know, tell me what you want me to do or what your vision is, because we're to be malleable.
Yeah, it's finding that balance between your own interpretation and your own preparation, and then on the day what the director wants and what the production calls for.
Yep.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Hi.
so much.
Let's go over here. Hi.
Hi, Eliza. Thanks for coming to Awesome Con.
Hi, thank you.
You are an amazing actress. I was wondering, when you did Selena Kyle in Batman Year One, what was the process of the whole voice acting? They kept you like in an isolation booth as you read through the script, or were you like feeding off other actors in the same room?
Yeah, well, thank you. I was alone when I did Selena Kyle, and the biggest part of the preparation for that was to find more feline in me. Everyone, if you follow me on social media, I've been a dog person my whole life. I have respect for the cat lovers out there. I don't think, maybe cats have never really liked me, so I didn't like them back. I was like, fine. So I remember like going to my coach and rehearsing like purring and meowing and trying to find my feline, inner feline.
Thank you.
Did a couple takes. Some were better than others.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, over here.
Hi. I want to start by saying I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I wish there was more of Faith. I loved you. Claire, I liked your arc as well.
Thank you.
I know badass. We love Lauren.
I wish that Dollhouse was a little bit longer, because I also love that show. I loved Echo. I loved Echo.
I might be biased, but me too.
But my question doesn't regard to either of those shows. You were saying you were brought up as a tomboy, and I'm just kind of curious, how did you feel when you were doing the movie Bring It On?
That audition was a funny story. They sent me the material and I was like, are you kidding? Like, never a cheerleader. One of my best friends was a cheerleader in high school and she used to stick up for me when all the other kids were being mean to me in middle school. But I showed up at the audition, I was hungover, and there were like people doing like dancing and cheerleading in the hallways and like little skirts, and I was, I think, all in black, and I was like, ugh, like everything hurt, you know, every noise and smile. I was like, I don't even know I'm here. And they called me into the audition room, and Peyton Reed was like, hey, so happy too, and I was like, ugh. And then I don't know, like he asked me if I had ever cheerleaded, and I said, absolutely not. And I used to fight cheerleaders after the football games. And he asked me if I could do a split, and I said, I don't know, let's see. And I jumped down the floor and landed one, and he was like, okay, cool. And I think that was what he was looking for, was the anti-cheerleader. Lucky for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then I learned. But then we had our 4 weeks of cheerleading boot camp in San Diego, and I had to have special Eliza days where they're like, okay, you're getting the choreography, it's coming along well, but like it's your face. Like, you look angry, you look like you're hurting someone when you're sticking and it's cheerleading. We need cheerful faces. And I was like, I got it, I am.
Well, it all worked out. Hi.
So you're the voice of She-Hulk on many like films and TV shows. Do you think that there will be a She-Hulk movie, and would you consider playing She-Hulk?
Yeah. She-Hulk's cool. I like her. Again, yeah, I've loved playing her, and that would be cool. That would be a lot of time in makeup and hair in the mornings. That would be green everywhere. But yeah, you know, I'd love to do that. It would be really fun to play one of those roles. It's hard, you know, we're in a business again where you don't necessarily get to go, I'd like to play She-Hulk in the next giant, you know, superhero movie, because there's an order and there's a thing. But yeah, man, I'd throw my hat in the ring.
Thank you. I could totally see you playing She-Hulk.
I have to buff up a little bit. I'd have to like really.
You could do it. We'll send you away to another cheer
Thanks.
camp, a
Yeah.
She-Hulk camp. Hi.
Hi. My question is about Buffy. What was it like, and what were the differences in working with the Buffy cast versus the Angel cast and David Boreanaz and them? Can you talk a little bit about what it was like kind of being on both shows?
Yeah, you crossed over.
I crossed over.
That was like
fun, no pun intended. A couple times there, and it felt very similar. I mean, we had all, you know, David was definitely more of a free spirit on his own show. David was just a little more like, look, kooky, and like, you know, he was having fun. But it felt, you know, Buffy ended up showing up when I was there, and so it was all kind of the same crew. And I liked what they did with the character on Angel. I think they got in really deep, and I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Buffy and Angel were crossing over before, like, you know, the flare-overs and, like, all of these, you know, now it's, like, common, but that was kind of unusual on that day.
Yeah.
It was like, we were ahead of our time. Hi.
Hi. So after Buffy, did you feel like that was a shift, like you had a reset after Buffy finished?
I went right from Buffy into Bring It On, and then back to Buffy. No, I mean, yes and no. A shift in terms of what?
Like in terms of changing from the more teen stuff, even like after Bring It On, into the more adult stuff like you're doing now?
I think I've always seen myself as a little bit of a late bloomer, and like that time all kind of blended together. I mean, kind of blends together for me. I don't feel like I really started growing up until I was in my mid to late 20s. So yeah, I mean, I was just kind of on a crazy rampage roll. You know?
Well, kind of like True Calling was like sort of your transition, your college years, kind of, you know.
We've got a big clap.
There's one band. Nice.
Yeah.
You know, but that was like I would say that maybe was like the transitional point in your career, you know, and then after that you sort of like evolved a little.
Yeah, True Calling was a cool show. I felt like it was, thanks, one more whoop.
Yeah, a couple more.
But like, if you look at the difference between Faith and True had like this deep moral conscience. Like Faith, she in a way had a little bit of the Buffy, like where she's got the weight of the world on her shoulders and she feels this immense responsibility, where Faith was like, whatever, like, I'm gonna kill people, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna, you know. So that was a little bit more mature, I guess, and more, you know, a different type of character, but then I went back and did like Jay and Silent Bob and, you know, wore cat suits and robbed people.
Thank you. Great question. Hi.
I just have a question for either of you. I love you both. Thank you so much for all your work. It's a plot point in Buffy that I think maybe you can clear up for me, which is there a connection between Glory and Ben?
Well, Glory is Ben, but
I feel like I have to ask it again.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, mine's a little bit of an esoteric question. I was a big fan of Dollhouse, and it got cut short. But the ending of the series had your character in this place that could go either really dark or really hopeful. And I was wondering what...
Have you watched Joss Whedon's work?
I have. And so I was kind of wondering where you thought the character was going after she had Paul jacked in, and she has the opportunity to kind of live out her life in her head or maybe do something else. And so that's where the dark potentially comes from. And so I was wondering kind of what you thought might have been the future for that character.
That is a good question. I've never had that question, but I mean, look, I was really grateful to have been a producer on that show and been kind of a part of its creation and, you know, whatever, an inspiration for Joss for that world. But I seldom, you know, went to Joss and went like, I'm thinking about going in this direction. Like I kind of felt like I just had such trust in him that the places he was going, and when he would sit down and kind of explain them to me, he would just, he would tend to like get me on board with where he was going and break it down in these great esoteric and philosophical ways, and I just kind of was on the team with what he wanted to do. I feel like he, you know, he's got a good track record for getting it all in there, so I was usually on board with creatively what Joss was spinning.
Thank you. And isn't that like the ultimate goal with a director-actor relationship or creator-actor, is to put, you know, to capitalize on each other's strengths and put your trust in the other person, that they're going to guide in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's rare, as you know.
Very rare. Yeah.
you know, the number of times I've signed on to jobs and they're like, she's smart, she's all these great things, and then you like read the material, and you know, I've said this before, like, just because she's in black leather pants and like kicking butt does not a strong, smart woman make, you know. It's
absolutely,
they miss it a lot in our industry.
Yeah, the visual framework does not make the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. This question is for both of you, and it's actually not Whedon related. So if you're having an off day or you're feeling kind of sad, is there a song that you like to sing or listen to that makes you feel happy?
That's a good question. You know, I would say moreover than song, I like the old days of albums when people used to release like albums that had a through storyline of an album. So there's a couple albums I love. I'm not so much nowadays where it's like buy a single song, because I feel like that is in a way taking away from, you know, what the artist intended, or it's happening less and less. So I'm an album person. There's definitely a couple albums I would throw on. What about you?
What?
Well, if you must know.
She wants to know.
If I'm feeling like, you know, like I want to take me back and like go really be self-reflective, probably Peter Gabriel's Secret World is like my favorite album ever. One Peter Gabriel fan?
Yeah, I love music, and I love the way it can like change I think it can like actually on a scientific level like change the molecules in our body and make us feel different. And so I like music. I do like reggae. I like Bob Marley always puts me in a really good mood, man. Like he's got some songs up there. If it's about love and it's about everything's gonna be okay, I'm like, yes, and I just vibe right into that. And I also, I mean, to get real like, you know, new agey and crazy, like I do like Headspace apps on or meditation apps on my phone, because sometimes it's just too noisy in there, you know? I have to breathe it out. I have to like have a little guided meditation to get me out. I have a friend, her name's Gabrielle Bernstein, and she's been a friend for a long time, and just on the flight over here, I was like we're producing our movie about Robert Mapplethorpe in New York right now. We're in pre-production, and it's crazy, and to kind of like turn that down and then get really excited and happy about coming to see you guys, I was like listening to her meditations. She has albums on iTunes, and this isn't an ad, it's just the truth. You know, like she'll have like the releasing meditation, and I listen to it for 5 minutes, and it changes my day, and it changes, I think, my chemicals.
Yeah, thank you.
Sick, right?
Thank you. Hi.
Hello. So, Eliza, obviously I very much enjoyed your work throughout the Whedonverse.
Nice.
But my question is, I read an off-the-cuff comment from Jamie Lee Curtis saying that she wouldn't be interested in doing a sequel to True Lies. However, she thought that maybe it would make sense, like however many years it's been in the future, a sequel with you. Would that be something you're interested in?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, what's not to like about that scenario?
I know. I feel like Jim Cameron's like working on Avatar 17 right now, even though, you know, it would, similar to the Buffy world, I wouldn't want to try to recreate the True Lies world without Jim Cameron as the captain of the ship. So they've been running a lot of rumors about a True Lies sequel for many years, and I think that would be fun. I mean, I'm very physical. I like that world.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Hi.
Hi. I wanted to know, for both of you, what is your favorite season and episode of Buffy?
Harley Quinn. I like it, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, mine's season 5. The 100th episode, which starred me.
That's my girl. Loud and proud. You know, maybe it might surprise you. I like season 3. Where I came into the show, and no, I liked, it was just so fun for me. I was 17 years old, I just graduated high school. It was a little bit of like art imitating life and life imitating art. I was a lot like that character, as scary as that may be. and it was fun. You know, I liked kind of the bad girls episode, and it was empowering for me too. I mean, I did not have a cool middle school and high school experience, for those of you that don't know that. Like, I had started acting, but I was in public school in Boston, and you don't go off and like make $100 million movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and come home and have all the kids like, that's so great, and I'm so supportive of you. Yeah. They were like, Hollywood in the house, like, you know, like just mean, and the teachers were mean, and my mother said driving to school, I used to like have white knuckles, like holding the handles of the car seat, like just, it was terrifying. And then I got to go do Buffy and like just go fight everyone.
That is the great thing about playing a character, you know, that is so different from yourself and so sort of, you know, I don't know how you want to describe Faith, but forthcoming, and yes. You get to take out all those aggressions that you can't in real life on the screen.
Yep, or I'd be in jail. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice release.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi.
Hi. Big fans. So I grew up with you as becoming one of my role models. My daughter has recently discovered you. What pearls of wisdom do you have for our next generation of women?
How old is your daughter?
She's 11.
She's 11. Okay, that's important. I mean, I think you're going to be the biggest. Yeah, you're going to be a major part of what she knows and what she values and respects in herself and in others. And it's just so hard. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent myself. I'm an auntie, and I can't really tell you what to tell your daughter other than, you know, I think the biggest thing to me is I try to love myself and love other people. It's pretty simple, you know, and be kind to myself and be kind to other people. Like, give it, and, you know, you get what you give what you get. It's like that's the best I got, you know. And then in terms of like when inevitably, like, I don't know one person in my life that doesn't struggle with something. I don't care if you had the best upbringing in the world and the best parents or the worst. Like, we all have our struggles, and we all have, you know, the gnarly little things that like eat at us, and to me that's part of like what I'm in school for. I know the ways that I worked through my stuff, and it might not be the same, it might not help somebody else, but like just trying to find myself and what's gonna serve me, so I can also like serve others.
That's actually a great answer. So you should give yourself more credit than that. You know what you're talking about. Hi.
Hi, Eliza. My name's Sabrina, and I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm gonna take it back to, I guess, Bring It On. That was one of my favorite movies. I could say I thought your part in there was pretty awesome. I guess what I want to know, what were your most memorable moments of making that film? And I'm pretty much interested in the good and the bad.
One of the best things about making that film was that I met Claire Kramer, ladies and gentlemen. It's true, because again, I mainly had like guy friends, and so it was super weird for me to all of a sudden be like Kiki with all these girls. Like, but she was so like warm with me. I don't know. You were.
I remember a funny story about Eliza when she came to do that movie. You could tell you hadn't maybe had the best like group ensemble experiences for whatever reason, this or that. But you know, the camaraderie was strong, and we all really got along. And I remember at one point we were filming a scene, and the camera stopped rolling, and she looked over at me, and she's like, I've never had people like cheer on my acting before. And I think that really speaks to, you know, what the film was about and why it turned out so well.
Yeah, for sure. It was a game changer for me. I didn't know that I liked like having friends that were girls that would, you know, like like the transformation even of Missy in that story of like when she walks in for the audition, and you know, this one's not saying the night, you know, she's kind of like, that was my perception, and that was like my high school, walking in and having people go like, ew, like she's not, you know, cool, and then, you know, the one person, you know, in the beginning, Kirsten, and she kind of takes me under her wing, and then and pulls me into this group, and then it turns into this great supportive, like, little family. It was crazy. It was really fun for me. What was one of my favorite parts of the movie? Oh my God. We had fun down in Santiago. We had a lot of fun. Those scenes where we actually did those dance routines, those were real. Like, we had rehearsed for weeks. We were always rehearsing those, and so when we were performing them, it felt like we were actually competing for the championship. Like, those were, yes, they used a stunt double here and there, but not really.
Not for any. The only person who had a stunt double in that routine was Kirsten. It's only because she was filming Virgin Suicides, like right up until she missed our month-long training camp. So she, you know, they were kind enough, instead of driving her into the ground, to do that for her. But everything else was real.
Yeah, I felt accomplished. I felt like I had won the, well, come in second for the.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. First of all, again, thank you guys for coming. You guys are both like idols of mine. You're awesome. Eliza, so I'm curious, of all the characters we sort of have gone over and talked about, which character would you be interested in the most in revisiting, in the most ideal scenario where everyone's on board, you know, the master of the ship is back, and also, where would you see that character potentially going?
Well, with the 20-year Buffy reunion and anniversary, and beyond before that, people are always asking, like, would you come back and do Buffy again? And my answer was and still is kind of like, no, I think we're good. I think we wrapped that up, and I love the way the show ended, and every woman in the world got to be slayers. Like, that, I was so pumped when I read that script. Everyone was like, how is he gonna do it? How's he gonna end it? And I cried. You know, I thought, like, that was so righteous and so smart, and so I don't really think about, like, I want to go back and tidy up unfinished business on anything I've done. I mean, granted that we all know I've done some shows that were cut short a bit early, but that's the nature of our business, and you know, with Dollhouse, I feel like we got to wrap it up a little bit, and then it's for the imagination of the fans and people to kind of think of where those things might have gone, you know? Thank you.
Which of her characters would you like to see?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, really almost all of them. But probably Dollhouse, I would have liked a little bit more, to see a little bit more and see where that character was gonna go, but, you know.
We're in the age of, like, a lot of kind of reduxes and redos of shows, and I think it's not, I don't love it all that. Look, I'm not, but I think it kind of, like, everything has its time, man, you know, and
there was recently a show that was very similar to Dollhouse that did very well. I thought Westworld had a lot of,
I texted Joss when I was watching the first episode, and I was like, this seems really, it's like, really familiar.
Where did
Joss
HBO
was
get this idea?
I don't know where this came from, and then he followed up by being like, but it's fucking awesome, and pardon my French, sorry children, but he's like, and I love it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, good, you know, bravo to them for stealing. Hi. She said it. Don't somebody quote me out there.
Hey, Eliza, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
You enjoying your con this weekend?
Awesome con?
Awesome con.
Wicked awesome
Rhetorical
con.
question.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people are asking questions about acting, and I have mad respect for your acting career, especially the new guy with DJ Qualls. that made me smile and laugh. That was an awesome movie. But I also wanted to throw mad respect to you for your campaigning and your political career as far as campaigning for Bernie Sanders. I'm a Bernie Sanders campaigner and advocate for last year, so I want to offer you that. So I wanted to ask, moving forward after the political campaign last year, Do you have any advice as far as moving forward in this political climate? I mean, I'm asking kind of in the city of DC here. I don't know what people's political stances are in this room, but I just wanted to ask, how do you move forward after all that kind of let down and a lot of the changes over this past year?
Yeah, you know, truthfully, it's, you know, I'm going back and forth in my head hearing you ask the question, because anyone that knows me and follows me on social media knows that I really speak my mind. I go after what I believe in. You know, I campaigned with Bernie. I introduced him and spoke about him. Like, I'm really out there. But I also think one thing that this election is showing me and teaching me is that, you know, this whole kind of question of like, is it okay to be intolerant of intolerance? You know, and there's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of, I'm surprised at how split, you know, the country is, but I also don't believe that it's for me to like be, you know, as hard as it is to say, to be like telling people that they're wrong and I'm right, and I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna, you know, shout obscenities about what they believe in. You know, like I'm trying to find that balance, believe me, but you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and say disparaging things about someone. Like, I understand when people say like, well, you're an actress, and so, no, I don't like it when people say you're just an actress, so why do you think you have a right? I have a right because I'm a human being and I'm a citizen of this country and I'm a citizen of this world to like say what I want to say on my page, and if you want to talk to me about it, that's cool, but I'm also not going to say like, well, don't enjoy my art and don't enjoy my acting if you don't believe what I believe. So it's a tough position, and it's a personal choice on a daily basis, but yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take one more question here, but don't worry. The rest of you in line, no one else get into the line. After we take your question, we're gonna do yes/no questions very quickly for the end.
Rapid fire.
It can
so bad at that, FYI.
Rapid fire, they can only be yes/no questions. Otherwise, she's gonna make fun of you. So, your real question. Yes, go.
Wow, I'm really lucky. Thank you for being one of the most badass, incredible people in the industry, and just not just a nerd icon, but just an icon and an inspiration for people everywhere. My question is, when you came back for Saints Row 4, how did it feel to come back as Shaundi and to play against, even if you weren't in the same booth, Danielle Nicolette? And did you get to meet her at all and interact with her?
Oh no. Did I come back for 4?
Yes, you got to come back as
more about my life than I do.
You got to come back as fun Shaundi.
Yeah. Shoot. Totally stopped. I wish you're not even what I'm gonna try to fake my way out of. I'm just gonna honestly like that. I don't recall. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. And that's just true.
You can get in the back and ask a yes/no. Let her get in the back of the line. She'll get a yes/no question ready. Okay. Are you ready with your yes/no?
I'm ready with my yes/no.
Go.
So first of all, my family.
That's not a yes/no question.
I have to build the question.
Okay.
So my family and I just power watched Buffy and Angel again this year.
Awesome.
We love the series.
Word.
And my son and I have black belts, and I was watching the fight choreographies again. So my yes/no question is, was that you, both of you? Were that both of you in the fight sequences? Or were they stunt doubles? Yeah.
I mean, half the time it was a stunt double.
Because we saw Sarah's stunt
They had
doubles.
amazing stunt people on Buffy.
They did.
Yeah.
Here's what it was. If you saw Eliza's face, it was her fighting, but it was Sarah Michelle Gellar's stunt double, or whoever she was fighting, on the other side. So that way, we didn't punch the other actors.
Yeah, especially after I punched her that one time when they didn't do that.
And
they were like, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I knocked out the stunt double one time, which I guess they used the stunt double because you'd punched her, so that was good. All right, that was kind of a yes/no.
overstepped her mark, in my defense.
Yeah.
Everyone saw.
Yes/no.
Hi, this is a truncated version of my question. As Echo, was there a favorite personality that you played that was put in your brain
Yes.
that episode?
Thank you. Go.
I know, I feel so bad.
No, we gotta do this. Go.
Is it cool that I named my daughter after Faith?
Totally.
Yes. Yes, that's a yes. Okay, over here.
Had Faith not killed the deputy mayor in season 3, do you think Faith would eventually still gone down a darker path?
Yeah. Okay. Natch, over here.
You probably should just let the rest of them go, because I've got a really big question.
No.
What about
No.
the lady behind you?
No, over here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, over here, little guy.
Oh, me, okay. Was it good working with Kevin Smith and Silent Bob and Jay Strike Back?
Yes and no. Okay, we're gonna take your question. We don't have time for a long one, so
hit us.
make it happen.
Come on.
So as Faith and Glory, they were both really dark characters. How do you humanize those type of personalities?
No.
Give him an answer. He's so cute.
I know.
Come on.
You don't think about the character from a negative point of view, or you don't think about the character being a god or this, bigger entity. You approach them as a human, creating another human, and therefore you don't have to humanize. You just don't pay attention to the extraneous information.
Thank you.
And I would say that in my, opinion, part of being human is that, we're not good or bad. Good people can do bad things, and that does not mean that that's a bad person necessarily. And so I think that part of humanizing them is like, there are so many different colors and shades of gray in being human, and that's what I think we're trying to show in Buffy, and kind of, was that that's what being human is.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
So, I've been a huge fan of both of you for so many years, but True Calling, this cancellation is one that made me really sad. Is that something you would happily redo? Do you have fond memories of working with Zach Galifianakis on that?
I don't want to redo it, and I did have a fun time working with Zach, and I'm so happy that people loved it, but,
Thank you. Okay, last question.
Hi again. Have you got into voice acting and you plan on continuing it as long as possible?
Yes,
okay. I'm so happy.
Yes. Okay, Eliza, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys, thank you so much.